What's up, guys? Okay, we're back with another video. Took a trade today. Took two trades today. Um, and yeah, this is basically how they went. Okay, so you already know the drill. Let's delete everything. Bah. Okay, so 9:30 open. So yeah, alright, 9:30 open. Okay, boom, 4 hour. 4 hour is, let me get my mouse pad. Okay, 4 hour. Okay, on the 4 hour time frame. Wait, let's go back. Start new. Okay. I'm just gonna play until 9:30. Okay, there we go. 4 hour time frame. What do we have? We have this 4 hour, and we have this one that we mitigated yesterday. This was unmitigated up until I think pre-market, and then yeah, that's a high time frame gap. Then what do we create coming out of this 4 hour pre-market on the 15 minute? We create this 15-minute gap, and not to mention, we also took out data high. Now what should we target? We have data low right there. Boom. Okay, wait. We went a little bit too far on the 15 minute. Okay, so what does price do at open? We see that price. Okay. Okay, we see that price pushes up into this 15 minute. Boom. Then we see, and then we later see displacement out of this 15 minute. Right there. Boom. Beautiful displacement in my book. We took out some like resting liquidity over here. And the only thing that I'd say that is wrong with this trade, and I didn't know that was wrong with this trade at the time of me taking it, and now that I learned today, is that you see how we have no like LR built up like here? We only have this low. We don't have anything else. So I learned today that before taking it, like an IVG trade out of a fair value gap isn't just like you take the first IVG that you see. There has to be like certain confluences that happen, or that like are there has to be certain things that occur to take the IVG and to like make sure that um it's a high probability trade. So yeah, there was the only thing wrong with this trade is that there was no LR like built up at the bottom, and I didn't even know that at the time. But still, that is my fault for not knowing that. So boom, 1 minute inverse. I thought it was a simple trade. Boom. Um, enter on the candle, right there, and then target data low. Right there. Boom. We get stopped out. Our stop gets hunted. And then I remember like so like the thing that I learned today, which is like we have to have a built up of a build up of LR before we take the inverse. And what I like knew prior and that I didn't follow in this trade is that like if it's an unmitigated fair value gap, you should wait for a stop hunt if there's no like if there's no like intermediate high or intermediate low within the fair value gap that you can sweep and then look to target lower, or vice versa. So this is where we get our stop hunt. And it's a turtle soup, which means like it's a wick and like the price didn't sweep and close above the high, like it sweeped and then wicked out which shows like good displacement. And then I take this, my second trade at this inverse. It's very tiny, but I take it just because I feel like there's so much confluence that we could go lower, that I just didn't think that there was any reason for price to go higher. Like, we mitigated a 4 hour, and then within that 4 hour we mitigated a 15-minute, and we showed displacement out of it. And at this point in time I saw this trendline liquidity form, so I was like, let me target data lows now. Whoa, hold up, that was not data low, this was data low right here. I think this one I went for like about a 1-to-1. I extended it a little bit. This one, since it was a better RR, or like a better fill, I decided to go for boom 1-to-1, and then mid trade. Here you can go boom mid trade. So it ends up getting hit, but mid trade I move my stop to that high right there, and then we end up hitting take profit. But I feel like there's a lot to learn from today's trading day. Number one, that first thing that I learned, which is like you have to have an abundance of LR before you take the IFVG, just so there's a reason for price to go lower. I felt like data low was a pretty nice reason for price to go lower. Yeah. And I feel like today I used a good bit of discretion, like in the second trade, and I feel like this first trade was a pretty statistical loss. Like, I'd say it was A setup. At the time it was A plus, because I just didn't know that one thing with the LR, but I'd say it was I'd say it was like one of the best setups that I have in a while. Other than what was it? Was it either Wednesday or Thursday where we had I think it was yesterday. I think it was Thursday where we had the Judas swing out of the 4 hour. That was a really good setup that I missed because of my limit. Oh, and something I did differently today is I didn't hesitate to enter. I just pressed enter. Oh, and my break even point was here, right there, at the top of the at the bottom of the LR. Yeah. So today it was basically break even, a small win. But yeah, I feel like this week went really well. Monday was probably my worst trade, just because I moved my break-even point into the wrong place, just because I was scared. And, I feel like the rest of the week I followed my rules really well, and let's continue to do that. Boom. See you guys in the next video.